first boombox was developed by the inventor of audio compact cassette, Philips, in 1966. TV broadcasting stations and networks in most parts of the world upgraded from black and white to color transmissions between the 1960s and the 1980s only. Ghostbusters filming took place from October 1993 to January 1984 and was released on June 8, 1984 to critical acclaim and became a cultural phenomenon. The Cadillac Eldorado is a luxury car manufactured and marketed by Cadillac from 1952. The pocket watch's hour hand is pointing to 8 and the minute hand to 10, referring to 18, and the second hand points to 1, so 18 plus 1 equals to 19 for SB19. In the mid-1950s, diners were officially a thing. There were at least 6,000 diners along the US roads to be found. In the Filipino tradition, if a fork accidentally falls, there will be a male visitor, hence Ken's arrival at the scene. Also notice that 18 and 19 on the number plate. Elvis Presley broke fashion boundaries too, just like what Ken has been doing now. Elvis became an early adopter of fashions. Like many hipsters and countless musicians of the late 1950s, he favored Cuban colored shirts, wide-legged pleated trousers, slip-on loafers, and blows-on jackets. The neon lights for the word disconnected is divided to form disco, alluding to the disco-type music that WYAT is. Surprisingly, many didn't notice the baby neon sign as it was backwards. Did you notice that Ken was walking away on the background? Who saw that lyric banner about Justin? This is a telephone with a rotary dial. Before iPhone and Android phones, this was the thing. McDonald's Golden Arches logo was introduced in 1953 at a location in Phoenix, Arizona. The peace sign Stell wore as a necklace was designed by Gerald Holton for the British campaign for nuclear disarmament in 1958. The downward lines on either side represent the semaphore signal for the letter N, and the vertical line in the center represents the flag semaphore signal for the letter D for nuclear disarmament. Josh using a smartphone in the past? This clearly means that they are time-leaping in this MV. This can also be the strange object that was hinted in their first teaser. Another shoutout for Elvis Presley. I bet many 18 will be like this if they see a poster of SB19. The 70s fashion was simply loud. Men wore tight pants with loud patterned shirts. Men and women both wore satin pants and shirts and one-piece bodysuits. Beatles popularized mopped-up haircut that Josh is rocking in here. Hip bumping dance, or simply the bump, is a form of popular dance introduced in the 1970s by Johnny Spruce. Two partners, generally one male and one female, bump their hips against each other to the beat of the song. This hair swipe move is by no means an invention of current or modern groups, but a normal thing in the past. In the 1970s, fashion was all about individuality and expression. As such, many traditional fashion rules were broken, and unique and androgynous looks reigned supreme. Pinuno seems to have stolen the poster from the diner. Wonder where he's going to take it. Disco music was funky and had great beats. Coupled with the idea of dancing on roller skates, roller discos also became hugely popular. These roller disco clubs had huge cultural impact. The place had all the makings of an exciting nightlife: fashion, disco music, and well, roller skating. Back in the day, if something doesn't work, you just give it a bang. Most of the 80s and 90s games were developed using 8-bit graphics, from which the most popular ones like Zelda, Super Mario, Space Invaders, and Shovel Knight are still played nowadays across computers and video game consoles. Though there's no clear etymology of the phrase, Jose is believed to be a variation for Joe, a term used for common people. The phrase appeared in a publication from the University of North Carolina in 1981, where it is cited as common slang which means absolutely not. This is the third time we see Pablo with the SB19 poster, first in the 50s to 60s era, the 70s, and now the 80s to 90s era. It is believed to mean wherever or in whatever time he is in, he will never leave his brothers, and they will always stay together. SD doesn't mean small definition. It stands for standard definition and is largely considered the video resolution up to 90s. Standard definition videos can be broken into a number of different formats such as 480p, 360p, and 240p. So if you are watching this video in 480p, you are watching it in SD mode. Most of us would have seen this only if we have watched this MV in slow motion again. This scene is a treasure trove for pop culture, from disco ball, boombox, old microphone, roller skates, arcade games, video game consoles, and more. In their ending pose, all but Pablo are looking down. He is looking at his brothers with a smile on his face. We know by now he wrote this song when he missed them and wants to reconnect with them. Here you can see Pablo writing the message that he posted on the arcade earlier. Don't be shy, we know these are product placements for Pepsi, Dunkin' Donuts, Pizza Hut, and even Samsung and Acer that Pablo was using earlier. Hope you enjoyed this video of 35 things you may or may not have seen in the WYAT music video. Good day to all, and see you in the next video.